Across the vast, sun-drenched plains of Africa, one of nature's most magnificent dramas unfolds every single year. These endless grasslands, stretching from horizon to horizon, are the stage for a spectacle that has shaped the continent's ecology for millennia. This is a story of survival, of instinct, and of a journey that has been repeated for thousands of years. The African savanna is home to some of the largest and most diverse populations of grazing animals on Earth, and their movements are dictated by the ancient cycles of rainfall and drought. The great animal migrations are an endless pilgrimage, driven by the rhythm of the seasons. As the rains sweep across the land, they transform the dry plains into lush green pastures. And with this transformation comes the promise of life. Imagine a river of life, flowing not with water, but with millions of animals, wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, and more, each one compelled by instinct to move, their hooves drumming a constant beat upon the earth. This movement is not random, it is a carefully orchestrated response to the shifting availability of food and water. These herds move as one great superorganism, a breathtaking spectacle of life in motion. The migration is a synchronized dance, with each species playing a unique role in the ecosystem. This incredible event is a testament to the resilience and power of the natural world. It is a cycle of birth, death, and renewal that shapes the very landscape it crosses. Calves are born into the chaos of movement, and predators follow the herds, relying on the abundance of prey. The most famous of these epic journeys takes place in the Serengeti Mara ecosystem, a vast wilderness that stretches across the nations of Tanzania and Kenya. This region is a mosaic of grasslands, woodlands, and rivers, providing a rich tapestry of habitats for countless species. Here, the land itself seems to breathe, changing from lush green to dry gold with the coming and going of the rains. The timing and location of rainfall dictate the availability of fresh grass, and the herds must constantly move to find sustenance. This pulse of life calls to the animals, urging them forward on a quest that will cover nearly 500 miles in a giant circular loop. The migration is a continuous journey, with no true beginning or end as the animals follow the rains in search of food and water. This is not a casual stroll, it is a marathon of survival. The journey is fraught with peril, rivers swollen by seasonal floods, treacherous crossings, and the ever-present threat of predators. Only the strongest and luckiest will complete the circuit. The migration is essential for the survival of the herds. Without it, they could not find enough food to eat or safe places to raise their young. The movement of these animals is also vital for the health of the entire ecosystem, as it prevents overgrazing and allows the land to recover. The Serengeti Mara migration is often called the greatest show on Earth, and for very good reason. It is a living, breathing phenomenon that supports an extraordinary diversity of life. It is one of the last great multi-species migrations left on our planet, a moving tapestry woven from the threads of countless individual lives. Wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, and elands all travel together, each species benefiting from the presence of the others. The sheer scale is almost impossible to comprehend. Lines of animals can stretch for over 25 miles, a dark pulsing ribbon against the golden grasslands. This immense movement shapes the very face of the savanna. The air hums with the sounds of their calls, the grunts of the wildebeest, the barks of the zebra, and the constant thunderous pounding of millions of hooves. These sounds are the heartbeat of the savanna. This journey is the lifeblood of the savanna. It connects habitats, feeds predators, and enriches the soil with every step the animals take. The migration ensures that nutrients are cycled throughout the ecosystem, supporting a web of life that extends far beyond the herds themselves. Understanding this migration is like unlocking a secret of the African continent. The interconnectedness of habitats, the delicate balance between predator and prey, and the constant movement of life all reveal the complexity and beauty of this ecosystem. Every living thing is connected, from the smallest blade of grass to the mightiest lion. The migration supports not only the grazers, but also the predators, scavengers, and even the plants that rely on the animals to disperse seeds and fertilize the soil. The journey is guided by an invisible map, one written in the clouds and the scent of distant rain. The animals sense changes in the weather, following the promise of new growth and fresh water. In nature, nothing stands still. The landscape is always changing, and the animals must adapt to survive. Their constant movement is a powerful reminder of the dynamic forces that shape the natural world. Life here is a constant movement, a dynamic and often dangerous dance between the hunter and the hunted, between hunger and survival. Predators rely on the migration for food, while the herds must remain ever vigilant. As we delve into this incredible story, we will meet the key players: wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, lions, and more. Explore the challenges they face and discover why protecting these ancient pathways is crucial for the future of Africa's wild heart. In the vast sun-drenched plains of the African savanna, three remarkable species take center stage in one of nature's greatest spectacles. The wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle, each with their own strengths, instincts, and survival strategies, form the core of the epic migration, a journey that tests every fiber of their being. The blue wildebeest, numbering over 1.5 million, are the most abundant. Their bodies are built for endurance, with sturdy legs and a powerful frame. Their deep, resonant grunts echo across the plains, a constant soundtrack to the migration. These animals are often called the clowns of the savanna, not only for their awkward, gangly appearance, but also for their unpredictable, bounding movements. Wildebeest move in great swirling herds, their shaggy manes and curved horns giving them a wild, untamed look. Their energy is seemingly chaotic, yet there is a deep instinctive order to their movements. They surge forward in waves, driven by an unyielding need to find fresh grazing and water. When the migration begins, the wildebeest form a living river stretching for miles across the open plains. Their hooves churn up dust, and their bodies press together for safety, creating a formidable moving mass that is nearly impossible for predators to penetrate. The wildebeest are the relentless engine of the migration. They push forward through parched grasslands, rocky outcrops, and treacherous river crossings. Their determination is unwavering, even as exhaustion, hunger, and thirst threaten to slow them down. The herd's unity is their greatest defense, as individuals rely on the group for protection and guidance. At the very front of this great procession are the Grant's zebras. With their striking black and white stripes, they are both beautiful and highly adapted to the challenges of migration. Numbering in the hundreds of thousands, zebras act as the scouts and pathfinders for the entire herd. Zebras possess an extraordinary memory, allowing them to recall the locations of safe river crossings and ancient migratory routes. They lead the way, often venturing into unknown or dangerous territory first, their vigilance and caution helping to guide the rest of the herd. Their digestive systems are uniquely suited to handle the toughest, driest, and longest grasses. While other grazers might struggle, zebras thrive on the coarse upper layers of the savanna's vegetation, using their strong teeth to shear through the fibrous blades. As they graze, zebras act as nature's lawn mowers, trimming the tall grass and exposing the tender green shoots beneath. This not only sustains them, but also prepares the way for the wildebeest, who follow closely behind, eager to feed on the newly revealed more nutritious growth. The wildebeest benefit directly from the zebra's efforts, grazing on the softer, more digestible grass that is now accessible. This sequence of feeding ensures that both species can thrive without directly competing for the same food. Trailing behind the main herds are the Thompson's gazelles, the smallest and most delicate of the trio. Their slender bodies and graceful movements set them apart, yet they are no less resilient. The gazelles follow in the wake of the larger grazers, moving through grass that has already been trampled and cropped. Their keen eyesight and alertness help them spot danger from afar, while their agility allows them to dart quickly through the open landscape. Thompson's gazelles are selective feeders, seeking out only the shortest, freshest shoots of grass that sprout after the wildebeest have passed. Their diet is highly specialized, allowing them to thrive on what remains after the larger animals have moved on. This tiered system of grazing is a masterclass in ecological cooperation. Each species takes only what it needs, leaving enough for the others. In this way, wildebeest, zebra and gazelle can share the same vast grasslands without coming into direct conflict. The gazelle's agility is legendary. When threatened, they perform a behavior known as stotting, leaping high into the air with stiff legs. This not only signals their fitness to potential predators, but also serves as a warning to others in the herd. As the migration progresses, these three species move as a single unified superherd. Their combined numbers create a living shield, making it harder for predators to single out the weak or the young. The interactions between them are subtle and complex. Wildebeest, zebras and gazelles communicate through body language, vocalizations and even scent, constantly alert to the movements and moods of their neighbors. Zebras, with their sharp eyesight and acute hearing, are often the first to detect danger. Wildebeest, on the other hand, rely on their keen sense of smell to pick up the scent of predators. Together they form a highly effective early warning system, alerting the entire herd to threats lurking in the tall grass. The journey is fraught with peril. Rivers swollen by seasonal rains become deadly obstacles where strong currents and lurking predators await. Hunger and thirst are constant companions, and the ever-present threat of predation means that every moment is a test of vigilance and endurance. Despite these dangers, the herd presses on, driven by the promise of renewal and survival. It is only through their remarkable teamwork, their finely tuned instincts, and their willingness to cooperate that wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle are able to overcome the immense challenges of the African savanna. Together, they continue their timeless pilgrimage, a testament to the power of unity in the wild. Across the vast African savanna, the rhythm of life is set by a single unyielding force, the search for food. The Great Migration is not merely a journey. It is a ceaseless, epic struggle for survival, dictated by the ever-changing whims of the weather and the promise of sustenance. It is a colossal, year-long pursuit as millions of animals, wildebeest, zebras and gazelles, chase the life-giving rains and the flush of green grass that follows in their wake. Every mouthful of grass is hard-won, every step a calculated risk in the endless quest to survive. These animals are not wandering aimlessly. Each step is guided by an ancient instinctual map etched deep within their being, leading them to where the land is most generous, where survival is possible. The cycle begins between January and March, when the herds converge on the nutrient-rich volcanic plains of the southern Serengeti. Here the soil, enriched by ancient eruptions, supports a lush carpet of grass, drawing the herds in their thousands. This is a season of abundance, a time when the plains become a nursery and a banquet hall. Mothers and their young feast side by side, replenishing their strength for the trials ahead. The rains have transformed the landscape, painting it in vibrant greens and providing the perfect conditions for new life. Here, the next generation of travellers is born, nurtured by the bounty of the land. This is the calving season, a spectacle of life and hope. In just a few short weeks, the plains are dotted with newborn calves, each one a testament to the resilience of the herd. Within this brief window, nearly 500,000 wildebeest calves take their first breaths. The air is filled with the calls of mothers and the unsteady steps of the young, all learning the ways of survival from their very first moments. This synchronized birthing is a masterstroke of survival. By bringing forth their young all at once, the herd creates a living shield, overwhelming the ever-watchful predators that stalk the plains. The sheer number of calves confounds lions, hyenas, and cheetahs. Predators are unable to single out enough prey, ensuring that most calves survive the perilous first days of life. The herd's unity is its greatest defense. The vulnerable young are kept at the center, surrounded by vigilant adults, while predators circle at a distance, waiting for any sign of weakness. A newborn wildebeest calf is a marvel of adaptation. Within minutes it rises on unsteady legs, driven by the urgent need to keep up with the herd. In less than 15 minutes it can run alongside its mother, a vital skill in a world where danger is never far away and only the swift survive. But abundance is fleeting. As April and May arrive, the nourishing rains fade, and the once verdant plains begin to wither beneath the relentless sun. The grass turns brittle and gold, the earth cracks, and the promise of food dwindles. The herds sense the change, their instincts urging them onward. This is the signal for the great exodus. The herds begin their trek north and west, leaving behind the exhausted plains in search of new pastures. Guided by the scent of distant rain and the promise of fresh growth, the animals press on, driven by hunger and hope. Zebras, with their ability to digest the toughest, driest stalks, lead the way. They graze down the coarse grass, making way for the wildebeest who follow in their wake, seeking the tender shoots left behind. The herds move in vast, thundering columns, their hooves raising clouds of dust that drift across the horizon. The sound of their passage is a living drumbeat, echoing the urgency of their quest. This leg of the journey is a race against time and thirst. The animals must keep moving, for only by finding new grass and water can they sustain their immense numbers. Their path is fraught with peril. Rivers swollen by distant rains block their way. The herds must cross these formidable barriers, risking life and limb for the chance to reach greener lands. Following the shifting rain clouds, the herds move through the Serengeti's western corridor toward the Grumeti and Mara rivers, each crossing a test of endurance and courage. This relentless movement is not only about survival, it is a force that shapes the land itself, driving cycles of renewal and abundance. As the animals graze, they trim the grass, stimulating new shoots to grow. Their constant feeding keeps the plains healthy and vibrant. The pounding of countless hooves breaks the soil's crust, aerating the ground and allowing rainwater to penetrate more deeply, nourishing the roots below. Their droppings return vital nutrients to the earth, fertilizing the savanna and ensuring that the cycle of growth continues. In this way, the migration is more than a search for food, it is the heartbeat of the savanna, a living circle that sustains not only the herds, but the very land itself, ensuring its richness and vitality for generations yet to come. The relentless search for food is what propels the great migration forward, but for every animal on this journey the path is fraught with peril at every turn. The migration is not a tranquil march across the plains. It's a desperate race for survival where danger lurks in every shadow and behind every blade of grass. Each step of the 500-mile circuit is a gamble, as herds must traverse rocky outcrops, steep ravines, and parched earth that cracks beneath their hooves. The savanna itself is an unforgiving adversary. Blistering heat saps strength, while sudden storms can turn dry ground into treacherous mud, trapping the unwary. Exhaustion gnaws at every creature. Hunger and thirst are constant companions, and the relentless pace leaves little time for rest or recovery. The youngest calves, barely steady on their legs, and the oldest members of the herd, weakened by age, are especially vulnerable. The weak and the weary are the first to fall behind, their bodies unable to keep pace with the relentless forward surge of the herd. A twisted ankle, a sudden illness, or a moment's separation from the group can spell doom, especially for the young who depend on the protection of the herd. For a calf, a brief moment alone, lost in the tall grass, calling for its mother, can mean the difference between life and death. The sheer magnitude of the migration is staggering. Even without the threat of predators, the physical demands alone claim countless lives. Many animals collapse from exhaustion, unable to rise again, their bodies left behind as the herd moves on. Yet perhaps the most perilous obstacles of all are the rivers that slice across the migration route, transforming the journey into a life-or-death trial. The Grumeti River in Tanzania is one such formidable barrier, its waters swollen and unpredictable. The Mara River, straddling the border of Tanzania and Kenya, is another daunting challenge, infamous for its depth and swift currents. These rivers can be deceptively wide, with hidden depths and powerful undertows that can sweep away even the strongest swimmers. As the herds gather at the water's edge, a tense silence falls. The animals sense the danger that lies ahead. Hesitation ripples through the crowd, each animal waiting for another to make the first move. They peer into the murky water, alert to the unseen threats lurking below the surface. But the pressure from the thousands behind grows, and soon the herd surges forward. One animal, driven by instinct or desperation, leaps into the river, breaking the tension. Instantly the rest follow in a frenzied stampede, plunging into the churning water. The river becomes a maelstrom of bodies, hooves thrashing, water splashing, and desperate cries filling the air. In the chaos, animals are jostled and trampled, some forced beneath the surface by the crush of the herd. The weakest are often trampled underfoot, unable to fight the current or the press of bodies. Many, especially the young and inexperienced, are swept away by the river's force, vanishing beneath the muddy waves. But the river itself is not the only threat. Beneath the surface, ancient predators await, the Nile crocodiles. These colossal reptiles, some stretching over 16 feet in length, are perfectly adapted for ambush. Patiently they bide their time, eyes just above the water, waiting for the chaos of the crossing. With explosive power they lunge from the depths, jaws snapping shut on unsuspecting prey. The struggle is brief and brutal as crocodiles drag wildebeest and zebras beneath the surface in a display of raw, ancient power. The river crossing can quickly become a scene of carnage as predators take full advantage of the confusion. The water runs red as crocodiles claim their victims, a stark reminder of the dangers that lie in wait. For those who survive the crossing, the ordeal is far from over. Exhausted, soaked, and often separated from their families, the survivors drag themselves onto the far bank. Alone or in small groups, they are at their most vulnerable, struggling to regroup and recover. The climb up the steep, slippery banks is a final test, sapping the last reserves of strength from the weary animals. On land, new dangers await. Lions, leopards, and hyenas prowl the riverbanks, drawn by the chaos and the promise of easy prey. These predators are ever watchful, ready to strike at the exhausted and the isolated, their patience rewarded by the stragglers who cannot keep up. The river crossings are the most dangerous and dramatic moments of the migration, where natural obstacles and predators combine to create a deadly gauntlet. Only the strongest, most determined animals survive this ordeal, their will to live tested to the very limit by the unforgiving wild. The Great Migration is one of nature's most spectacular events. A living river of millions of wildebeest and zebras flowing across the vast Serengeti plains. But this migration is not just a lifeline for the grazers, it is also a moving banquet for the region's formidable predators, who depend on this abundance for their own survival. Every step of the journey is shadowed by watchful eyes and patient hunters, each with their own unique strategies honed by generations of adaptation. These hunters are the architects of balance in the Serengeti ecosystem. By targeting the weak, the sick, and the young, they help ensure that only the fittest survive, strengthening the herds and maintaining the health of the entire landscape. Their presence is a constant silent force, shaping the destiny of every animal on the plains. Among these predators, none is more iconic than the lion. With their golden coats and regal bearing, lions are the undisputed monarchs of the Serengeti, commanding respect from all who share their domain. Lions are unique among big cats for their social nature. They live in prides, complex family groups that can include up to 30 individuals. Within these prides, each member has a role, and cooperation is the key to their success. The lionesses, agile and cunning, are the pride's primary hunters. Working together, they use silent communication and coordinated tactics to stalk their prey, often fanning out through the tall grass to surround unsuspecting animals. When the moment is right, the pride springs into action. Some lionesses drive the prey towards hidden ambushes, while others block escape routes. Their teamwork allows them to bring down animals much larger than themselves, such as wildebeest and even young buffalo. Sharing the plains with the lions is another formidable predator, the spotted hyena. With their sloping backs and powerful jaws, hyenas are built for endurance and strength. Though often misunderstood as scavengers, spotted hyenas are among the most successful hunters in Africa. Up to 95% of their meals come from their own kills, a testament to their intelligence and persistence. Hyenas hunt in large, tightly knit clans that can number over 80 individuals. Their hunts are relentless, relying on stamina to pursue prey over long distances until exhaustion sets in. Working together, they can bring down animals much larger than themselves, using sheer numbers and coordinated attacks. Their jaws are among the strongest in the animal kingdom, capable of crushing thick bones with ease. This allows them to consume every part of their prey, leaving nothing behind and ensuring that no resource is wasted. As night falls, the eerie whoops and cackles of hyenas echo across the savannah, signaling their presence to all. These calls help clan members coordinate and defend their territory, reinforcing their dominance as nature's ultimate recyclers. For sheer speed, no predator can rival the cheetah. With a slender, aerodynamic body and long, powerful limbs, the cheetah is built for explosive acceleration. In a breathtaking display of athleticism, a cheetah can reach speeds of over 60 miles per hour in just a few strides. Every muscle, every tendon is fine-tuned for the chase, making it the fastest land animal on Earth. Cheetahs are solitary hunters, relying on stealth and patience to get as close as possible to their quarry, often the nimble Thompson's gazelle. Once within striking distance, the cheetah unleashes a lightning-fast sprint, closing the gap in seconds. Every hunt is a delicate balance of timing and precision. The cheetah must remain unseen until the last possible moment, using the tall grass as cover before launching its high-speed pursuit. But speed comes at a cost. Cheetahs are lightly built and cannot defend their kills from larger predators. After a successful hunt, they must eat quickly, devouring their meal in as little as 10 to 15 minutes before lions, hyenas, or even vultures arrive to steal it away. In the shadows and treetops, another master hunter lurks, the elusive leopard. With unmatched stealth and adaptability, leopards are the silent phantoms of the Serengeti. Their beautiful dappled coats provide perfect camouflage, allowing them to vanish into the undergrowth or melt into the branches above, unseen by both prey and rival predators. Leopards are opportunistic hunters, with a diet as varied as the landscape itself. From agile gazelles and impalas to birds, reptiles, and even rodents, almost nothing is off the menu for these adaptable cats. What truly sets the leopard apart is its astonishing strength. After a successful hunt, a leopard can drag prey much heavier than itself high into the branches of a tree, hoisting it out of reach of scavengers. Safe in the treetops, the leopard can feast at its leisure, undisturbed by lions or hyenas prowling below. This remarkable behavior ensures that the leopard's hard-earned meal remains its own, a testament to its ingenuity and power in the wild heart of the Serengeti. While the Serengeti Mara migration is the most famous, it is far from the only epic animal journey on the African continent. Across Africa, other vast movements of wildlife follow the same ancient rhythms of rain and renewal. In Zambia, the Liwa Plain hosts the second-largest wildebeest migration in the world. Here, more than 45,000 wildebeest, accompanied by zebras, embark on a gentler pilgrimage. Driven by the arrival of the first rains around October, they move across the golden floodplains in search of safe grounds to give birth and fresh vegetation to graze upon, painting the landscape with their presence in a quieter but no less significant spectacle of life. Further north, in the vast wetlands of South Sudan, what is now believed to be the largest overland migration on Earth takes place. This incredible event involves over 5 million animals, a staggering number that dwarfs even the Serengeti. The main participants are a species of antelope called the white-eared cob, who travel alongside tiang, Mongala gazelles, and reedbuck. They journey between Badingelo and Boma national parks and even cross into neighboring Ethiopia, a colossal movement of life through a region that is only just beginning to be fully understood by scientists. This Great Nile migration is a powerful testament to the resilience of wildlife in even the most remote corners of Africa. Botswana is home to another record-breaking journey, this one undertaken by Burchell's zebras. Scientists recently discovered that these zebras perform the longest linear migration of any land mammal in Africa. Thousands of them travel in a remarkably straight line. Moving directly south from the life-giving waters of the Chobe riverfront to the vast, shimmering salt pans of Enchai Pan and back again. This journey seems to be guided by an innate internal compass, a mysterious and precise navigational ability that allows them to travel with unerring accuracy across a seemingly featureless landscape in their quest for water and minerals. These migrations, though different in scale and species, all share a common purpose: the endless search for the resources needed to survive. From the wildebeest of Liwa Plain to the white-eared kobe of South Sudan and the determined zebras of Botswana, these animals are locked in a dance with the seasons. Their journeys are vital for the health of the ecosystems they inhabit, spreading seeds, fertilizing the soil, and providing food for a host of other creatures. They are a powerful reminder that the spirit of migration, the instinct to move and explore, is a fundamental force of nature woven deep into the fabric of the African continent. In Kenya, the elephants of Amboseli National Park undertake a significant migration, moving in herds across the savannah in search of water and food. These majestic creatures travel vast distances to reach waterholes, their movements crucial for maintaining the delicate balance of their ecosystem. In South Africa's Kruger National Park, African buffaloes also embark on seasonal migrations, their massive herds moving in search of fresh grazing grounds. These migrations help to prevent overgrazing and ensure the regeneration of vegetation, supporting a diverse array of wildlife. The flamingos of Lake Nakuru in Kenya are another example, their migrations driven by the availability of algae in the alkaline lakes they inhabit. These vibrant birds travel between lakes, their movements creating breathtaking spectacles of pink against the blue waters. Even the African penguins of South Africa's Boulders Beach undertake migrations, moving along the coast to find food and suitable breeding sites. Their journeys are essential for their survival as they navigate the challenges of a changing environment. These migrations, whether by land, air, or sea, highlight the incredible adaptability and resilience of African wildlife. They underscore the interconnectedness of ecosystems where each journey plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of nature. From the savannas to the wetlands, the mountains to the coasts, the migrations of Africa's animals are a testament to the enduring spirit of life on this remarkable continent. Not all animal movements in Africa are fixed, circular migrations. Many species are nomadic, undertaking more fluid and less predictable journeys driven by immediate needs for food and water. The African bush elephant, the largest land animal on Earth, is a perfect example. Elephant herds, led by a wise and experienced matriarch, can travel for dozens of miles in a single night. The matriarch's incredible memory is a living map, holding knowledge of hidden water sources and safe passages that she passes down to the next generation. Elephants are also ecosystem engineers. By digging for underground water during droughts, they create life-saving wells that are then used by countless other species. Another powerful nomad of the savanna is the African buffalo. These formidable animals travel in large herds, sometimes numbering over 1,000 individuals, for protection against predators. Their movements are short and deliberate, and herds have a fascinating way of making decisions. It is believed that they vote on which direction to travel. Adult females will stand up, stare in their preferred direction, and then lie back down. The direction with the most votes becomes the herd's new path. This democratic process allows them to collectively decide on the best grazing areas, showcasing a remarkable level of social cooperation and intelligence. The sky above Africa is also filled with travelers. The Great Rift Valley, a massive geological trench that runs down the eastern side of the continent, forms a natural superhighway for birds. This corridor, known as the Rift Valley Flyway, is used by over 2 million birds every year as they migrate between their breeding grounds in Europe and Asia and their wintering homes in Africa. Majestic birds like the white stork, the powerful stepper eagle, and the endangered Egyptian vulture soar on the thermal updrafts created by the valley, conserving energy on their incredible long-distance flights that can cover thousands of miles one way. These nomadic movements, whether on land or in the air, are just as crucial as the great cyclical migrations. They connect different habitats, ensuring genetic diversity and increasing the resilience of animal populations in the face of environmental changes like drought or fire. The journeys of elephants, buffalo, and migratory birds are the threads that stitch the continent's diverse ecosystems together. They demonstrate that the need to move, to seek out new resources and escape harsh conditions is a universal law of nature, governing the lives of creatures both great and small across the vast African landscape. Each step taken by an elephant, each hoofprint left by a buffalo, and each flap of a bird's wings is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of these incredible creatures. Their survival tactics, honed over millennia, allow them to thrive in some of the most challenging environments on Earth. Communication plays a vital role in their survival, from the low-frequency rumbles of elephants to the intricate social signals of buffalo and the complex calls of birds. Together, these animals create a dynamic and interconnected web of life, each species contributing to the health and balance of their ecosystems. As the sun sets over the African savanna, the journeys of elephants, buffalo, and birds continue, a never-ending cycle of movement and survival that defines the essence of life in the wild. For thousands of years, the great animal migrations have been shaped by the rhythms of the natural world, following ancient paths carved by instinct, the seasons, and the ever-changing environment. The African savanna is a land of dramatic contrasts, where the timing and intensity of the rains dictate the abundance of life. Migratory animals must constantly adapt to unpredictable weather patterns, as the onset of the wet or dry season can shift from year to year. Droughts are a natural part of this ecosystem, sometimes lasting for months or even years. When rivers dry up and grasslands wither, herds are forced to travel farther and endure harsher conditions in search of water and food. Occasionally, rains arrive out of season or fail altogether, disrupting the delicate timing of migration. If the grasslands do not regenerate when the herds arrive, or if waterholes remain empty, the consequences can be severe. In these times, animals face starvation and dehydration. The weakest may not survive the journey, and entire populations can be affected by a single season of poor rainfall. Natural barriers such as rivers, escarpments, and dense forests also shape migration routes. Some animals must cross treacherous waters or navigate steep terrain, testing their endurance and instincts. Predators and competition for resources add further challenges. As herds move, they must remain vigilant against lions, hyenas, and crocodiles, all of which rely on the migration for their own survival. Disease outbreaks, often triggered by environmental stress, can sweep through populations, reducing numbers and altering the dynamics of migration for years to come. Even without human interference, the natural world is in constant flux. Shifts in climate over centuries have expanded and contracted grasslands, altered river courses, and changed the very face of the continent. The resilience of migratory species is tested by these environmental changes. Only the most adaptable survive, and the journey itself becomes a crucible shaping the future of each generation. The cycles of abundance and scarcity, feast and famine, are woven into the fabric of migration. These natural forces ensure that only the strongest and most resourceful animals complete the journey. In the end, the great migrations are a testament to the power of nature, an ongoing struggle against the elements, predators, and the unpredictable pulse of the wild. As the climate continues to change, the challenges faced by migratory animals will only intensify, demanding ever greater resilience and adaptability. Yet, despite these hardships, the thunder of hooves still echoes across the plains, a living symbol of nature's enduring spirit and the eternal cycle of life and renewal. Across the vast African savanna and the wilds of the South American Cerrado, the future of animal migrations is written in the language of nature's own resilience. Despite daunting obstacles, drought, shifting climates, and the ever-changing landscape, nature's creatures continue their ancient journeys, guided by instinct and the subtle cues of the earth itself. The hope for the future lies in the remarkable adaptability and tenacity of these animals, whose migrations have endured for millennia. Nature's own conservation efforts are evident in the way ecosystems self-organize and recover. Rivers carve new paths, grasslands regenerate after fire, and forests reclaim open spaces, creating ever-shifting mosaics of habitat that support the great migrations. The interconnectedness of these landscapes allows herds to find water, food, and shelter, even as conditions change. Wildlife corridors, formed by rivers, valleys, and ancient trails, are nature's highways linking distant habitats and allowing animals to move freely in search of sustenance. These corridors are lifelines, ensuring that migration routes remain open and that populations can mix, strengthening the genetic fabric of each species. Vast, uninterrupted landscapes stretch across borders and boundaries, providing the space needed for epic journeys. Herds of elephants, antelope, and wildebeest traverse these open expanses, following the rhythms of the seasons and the promise of renewal. The Kavango-Zambezi region stands as a testament to nature's grandeur, a living network of rivers, wetlands, and savannas that supports one of the world's greatest concentrations of wildlife. Spanning 5 countries, this immense landscape is a sanctuary for countless species, its rivers and plains forming a tapestry of life that stretches beyond the horizon. Here, the largest elephant population on the continent moves as one, crossing rivers and grasslands, their ancient paths etched into the earth by generations past. The connection of habitats ensures that animals can reach distant waterholes during drought, find fresh grazing after fire, and maintain the delicate balance of predator and prey. Nature's resilience is revealed in every migration. Herds adapt to new challenges, shifting their routes, altering their timing, and finding new ways to survive as the world changes around them. The land itself is a silent guardian, offering refuge in hidden valleys, shelter beneath ancient trees, and nourishment in the grasses that spring to life after the rains. The cycles of nature, Rain and drought, fire and regrowth are woven into the story of migration, each challenge met with a response honed by countless generations. In the heart of the savannah, the resilience of life is on full display. Herds gather at waterholes, predators stalk the tall grass, and the air vibrates with the energy of survival and renewal. Every migration is a testament to the power of adaptation. Animals learn to avoid danger, to find new routes, and to persist in the face of adversity. Even conflict and competition are part of nature's design, shaping the evolution of species and the resilience of entire ecosystems. The story of migration is, above all, a story of hope. Each sunrise brings new possibilities, each journey a chance for renewal and survival. As herds move across the plains, they carry with them the promise that life will endure, that the wild heart of the savannah will continue to beat strong. The interconnected web of life, plants, animals, rivers, and sky, works in harmony to sustain these epic journeys, each part playing a vital role in the survival of the whole. The thunder of a million hooves is the sound of resilience, a living rhythm that echoes across the land and through the ages. This is the heartbeat of the wild, a timeless, untamed beauty that endures, reminding us that through nature's own strength and adaptability, hope for the future of animal migrations will always remain. Beneath the shimmering heat of the Kalahari Desert, a remarkable migration unfolds, a journey less known but no less extraordinary. Here life is defined by extremes, scorching days, icy nights, and the relentless search for water. Yet against all odds, the Kalahari's wildlife has mastered the art of survival through movement. Each year, springbok herds gather on the ancient Magadigadi salt pans, their slender forms weaving across the vast white expanse. Drawn by the promise of rain, they follow invisible paths etched by generations, their migration one of Africa's greatest yet most secretive. As the first storms break the dry season, a green flush sweeps over the desert, triggering a wave of movement. Wildebeest and zebra join the springbok, journeying hundreds of kilometers in search of fresh grazing. Their routes are guided by memory and an acute sense of distant thunder, a signal that new life is about to emerge. In this land of scarcity, even the smallest creatures migrate. Armies of red locusts take to the air after rare rains, their swarms painting the sky in vibrant hues. Birds, too, play their part. Flocks of quailias and sandgrouse traverse the dunes, drawn to temporary pools that appear like mirages on the horizon. Predators shadow the herds, adapting their own movements to the ebb and flow of prey. Brown hyenas and black-maned lions navigate the shifting sands, relying on patience and stealth as the desert's bounty waxes and wanes. Survival in the Kalahari depends on timing and resilience. Animals travel at night to escape the sun's fierce heat, resting in shaded hollows during the day. Water is found in hidden pans, succulent plants and the morning's dew, each drop a treasure. In a land where rain is a rare gift, these migrations are a testament to the adaptability of life in the desert. Every journey, no matter how perilous, is guided by ancient instincts and the enduring hope that, somewhere beyond the dunes, sustenance awaits. In the silence of the Kalahari, the story of migration continues, quiet, determined, and eternally resilient. As the sun slips beneath the horizon, Africa's landscapes are transformed. Under the cover of darkness, a new wave of migration begins, a world where shadows move and silence reigns. For many animals, the night is not a time for rest, but for travel. Springbok and wildebeest, who spent the day sheltering from the relentless heat, rise as dusk falls. Guided by the faint glow of the moon and the scent of distant rain, they set off across the plains. Their hooves leave barely a trace on the cool earth, moving with quiet urgency toward hidden waterholes and fresh grazing grounds. Nocturnal migration offers both opportunity and peril. The darkness shields these travelers from the burning sun and some predators, but it brings its own set of challenges. Eyes must adjust to the dim light, ears strain for the slightest sound, and every shadow might conceal a threat. Adaptations are key. Many animals have evolved enhanced night vision, able to detect movement where others see only blackness. Some, like the aardvark, rely on a keen sense of smell to navigate and locate food as they roam the savanna. Bats fill the night sky, echolocating their way across great distances in search of insects that also migrate under the stars. Predators, too, are on the move. Lions and hyenas, masters of the night, track the migrating herds with silent determination. Their senses are finely tuned to the rhythms of darkness, turning the cover of night into an advantage. In these hours, the African landscape hums with unseen journeys. Elephants move quietly through forests, their footfalls muffled by soft earth. Flocks of birds take flight under the stars, following ancient routes invisible to the human eye. Even tiny insects like dung beetles navigate by the Milky Way as they roll their precious cargo across the sand. Night migrations are a delicate dance of survival, adaptation, and instinct, each creature playing its part in an ancient, ever-renewing cycle. In the hush of darkness, Africa's migrations continue, hidden from view but vital to the life of the continent. Water, Africa's most precious resource. It carves the land, sustains the wildlife, and dictates the rhythm of life itself. For migrating animals, water sources are more than just a necessity. They are lifelines, guiding their journeys across vast, unforgiving terrains. In the arid savannas, seasonal rains bring a fleeting abundance. Temporary lakes and rivers spring to life, drawing wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles from miles away. These animals are driven by an innate knowledge, passed down through generations, of where and when these vital water sources will appear. Elephants, with their remarkable memory and keen sense of smell, can detect water from great distances. They lead their herds to hidden springs and ancient watering holes, their paths shaped by the promise of hydration. These majestic creatures often become the pioneers of new migration routes, their quest for water mapping the way for others. Rivers like the Mara and the Nile are the arteries of migration. During the dry season, their banks teem with life. Animals congregate, drawn by the promise of water, and the landscape becomes a vibrant tapestry of species, each one reliant on these liquid veins. Here the drama of survival plays out daily. Thirsty travelers must navigate the dangers of crocodile-infested waters and the ever-watchful eyes of predators lying in wait. Even the smallest creatures are influenced by water. Frogs and insects time their breeding cycles to coincide with the rains, their migrations short but critical for their species' survival. Birds, too, follow the water, their migratory paths tracing the ebb and flow of rivers and lakes across the continent. The scarcity of water during droughts forces animals to travel further and endure greater hardships. These periods of scarcity test the resilience of every species, from the largest elephant to the smallest insect. Yet it is in these times that the true ingenuity of Africa's wildlife is revealed. Some dig deep to find underground reservoirs, while others adapt to survive with less, conserving every precious drop. Water is the pulse of Africa's migrations. It shapes the land, dictates behavior, and ensures the continuance of life. In the ceaseless search for this vital resource, the animals of Africa demonstrate an extraordinary blend of instinct, memory, and adaptation, forever linked to the ever-changing waters of their homeland. As Africa's great migrations unfold, the continent becomes a living mosaic of intertwined destinies. Here, the journeys of countless species overlap, creating a complex web of interactions that shape the very fabric of the ecosystem. Competition lies at the heart of these encounters. Wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles may travel together, but they vie for the same grasses and fresh shoots. Each species has evolved unique strategies. Zebras graze on the tougher grasses, leaving the softer, nutrient-rich blades for the wildebeest and gazelles that follow. This staggered feeding reduces direct competition, allowing all three to thrive side by side. Yet not all interactions are rivalrous. Some are symbiotic, bringing surprising benefits to the travelers. Birds like oxpeckers hitch rides on the backs of large mammals, feasting on ticks and parasites, while sounding alarm calls at the first sign of danger. Even smaller ungulates benefit from the vigilance of larger herds, joining the migration for safety in numbers and shared resources. Predators, too, play their part in the balance. Lions and hyenas shadow the herds, culling the weak and the old. This natural predation keeps populations healthy and prevents overgrazing, maintaining the delicate equilibrium of the grasslands. Elephants, with their sheer size and strength, open new paths through dense bush, creating corridors that other species follow. Their movements shape the landscape, allowing smaller animals to access water and fresh grazing grounds. In this grand migration, every species, predator and prey, grazer and browser, depends on the others. Their interactions, whether competitive or cooperative, sustain the intricate balance of life across Africa's wild heart. The migrations are not just about survival, they are about coexistence, resilience, and the enduring power of nature's connections. Far beyond Africa's savannas, another vast grassland pulses with life, the South American Cerrado. Spanning millions of square kilometers, this upside-down forest is a mosaic of grasslands, woodlands, and scrub, home to one of the world's most remarkable yet lesser-known animal migrations. Here the journey begins with the pampas deer and the elegant maned wolf. As the dry season tightens its grip, herds of deer drift across the plains, seeking pockets of fresh grass and scattered waterholes. The maned wolf, with its long legs and fiery coat, follows a winding path through the tall grass, tracking the seasonal bloom of fruiting plants and the movements of its prey. Above, flocks of migratory birds, like the dazzling blue and yellow macaw and the fork-tailed flycatcher, trace invisible highways in the sky. They ride shifting winds from the southern grasslands to the northern woodlands, following the ebb and flow of rainfall and ripening fruits. But the Cerrado's migrations are not without peril. Fires, both natural and lightning-sparked, sweep across the land, reshaping routes and forcing animals to adapt or reroute their journeys. Sudden floods transform dusty plains into temporary wetlands, drawing giant anteaters and armadillos to feast on a surge of insects. Each species, from the nimble pampas deer to the soaring macaw, weaves its own path through this unpredictable landscape. Their migrations, though quieter than Africa's thundering herds, are vital threads in the tapestry of the Cerrado, ensuring the renewal of grasslands, the dispersal of seeds, and the survival of countless forms of life. In the heart of South America, the great migrations of the Cerrado are a testament to nature's ingenuity and the enduring spirit of adaptation across the wild plains.